Welcome down, everyone, to another episode of Those Nerds You Know. My name is Ethan.
I'm Eddie.
I'm Scott.
And we are Those Nerds You Know. Eddie, tell them what we do.
Oh, is that what we were waiting for? Okay.
Yes.
We are a podcast about nerdy things. We talk about comic books, maybe television shows, comics, TV shows that are based on comics, and other things like that, and anime and manga. And going-ons and things like that, news in the comic sphere of the world, and etc.
Excellent.
Thank you.
That is it. And today we're coming at you with a little discussion about the latest semi-Marvel movie, Venom.
Yeah, that's an accurate description.
The latest movie in association with Marvel.
Yeah.
I laughed out loud when I saw that.
That's like all the pseudo Marvel movies though. It's like in association.
Yeah.
I mean that's
like
that's Sony's Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That was really funny. So good. Anyways, we got Venom starring Homeboy, Bane. What's his name? Tom Hardy.
Bane.
Tom Hardy.
He was Bane.
He was. No, you're not wrong. So.
Directed by Ruben Fleischer.
Fleischer. Yes.
English.
You got it. All
It's
right.
German.
Yeah, that's not English.
But he is American. It's just a German last name.
Cool.
Or Jewish. I don't know.
I have no idea. I'm not. I don't know.
Anyway.
Any hoozles. I don't know much else that he has done.
He did Zombieland.
Did you do the first Zombieland? I know he's working on the second.
Yeah, he did the first.
You did the first one? That's
He's
cool.
the director.
Because that's one of my favorite films in existence.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I see that now. Yeah, known for that. Gangster Squad.
Yeah.
30 minutes or less, whatever that film is. Yeah. Interesting.
Wow.
So yeah, pretty surprising because it wasn't that great.
Yeah.
Yep, I'd say so.
The common consensus, I think, with this movie is it wasn't a good movie, but it was fun. And
Right.
I actually enjoyed it quite a bit, despite it being a train wreck garbage dumpster fire.
I enjoyed parts of it that I don't think I was supposed to enjoy. Like I felt parts of it were funny that I don't think they were supposed to. I was supposed to find funny. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
there's
it's
a lot of
like
that.
an accidental.
Yeah,
So
a lot of
I thought
feeling
that
like
I thought that as well, but I feel like it was intentional, but the jokes weren't just received as well as they would have hoped them to be, because
maybe
like
so. Yeah.
it seems like they were leading up to a lot of things, but then you're like, that was kind of funny, but like nobody else was kind of reacting, so.
Yeah.
Also, it's really weird hearing your name. That's the only line. In some parts is like Eddie, and I'm like, okay,
Yep.
calm down.
Well,
It's so many people said his name over and over again. It's like
Absolutely.
I couldn't get used to it. I was like, that's so jarring and weird.
yep. That's
Especially
how
with Venom, that's his first line, Eddie. It's like,
Eddie.
oh,
Yes.
okay.
That's how I was at San Japan when we saw freaking Mission Impossible. The main character's name is Ethan.
Yeah.
It's just, well, maybe this is why I've never seen these movies. It's just too weird. Yeah. And then Scott Pilgrim vs. the World for Scott.
Yeah,
Right.
basically.
There we go. We've all got our movies. We're all famous.
I'm okay with this being my movie.
Excellent. Good. I'm glad. That's all you get.
I would watch another one. It was crap, but I'd watch another one.
I think they'll do another one too.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's already hit its budget, in the
Yeah.
U.S.
Do you
and
have that
it's
in front of you? I was looking for that. I don't have it.
I think it's 102 million U.S. at the moment. That was
Nice.
yesterday. I don't know about worldwide though. Worldwide was a lot more than
The
US,
box
I
office
think.
budget is 230 million, and the budget was about 100 to 116 million.
Okay, so its
sounds
total
about right.
box office was 230 and its budget was 120, you said?
110 to 116.
Interesting. Okay, that's cool.
So
that's
it
cool.
made double its box office. I mean, its budget.
Yeah.
Box office for the first week. So Yeah, it'll get a sequel.
Not bad. It's not doing super hot on Rotten Tomatoes, but it's doing all right on IMDb.
Yeah, and Metacritic doesn't have a high score for it either, but
I haven't seen the
it's
Metacritic
not.
score.
It's like 32 or something.
Yeah.
But
Sounds
it's not a critical hit, but a lot of fans are enjoying it. I've seen.
Like overall, I agree that it wasn't a great movie. A lot of it was bad, but I enjoyed Eddie and Venom. Like I just enjoyed the actual character of Venom.
Mm-hmm.
It feels like the
dynamic
movie
was
doesn't
good.
really start till they come together.
Oh my gosh, it's so slow in the beginning. It's like 30 minutes of nothing, and I'm like, come on. Like I was in the theater, like, "Buh."
Not only that, it was not only slow, but it was also unbelievable, especially when the part of Anne, the girlfriend slash fiance, ex-fiance or whatever, like she didn't seem to exhibit human emotions when she spoke.
Yeah, I didn't like her very much.
Pretty stale. Yeah.
Like, I mean, and like they seemed. I mean, the beginning was okay with like their relationship. Like they seemed like really crazy for each other, and then Eddie Brock does, which by the way is 2 first names. I hate that. Please change his name or something.
So weird.
Nah. Ricky
but when
Bobby
he does
all the way.
yeah, when he does that stupid thing that he does with the interview, it's like, oh, I got fired. Screw you. I'm leaving forever. Okay. Ball.
Yeah, it just seems like they needed her to be a really distant, unforgiving lover, and so they just made that her whole thing.
Yeah, it was really weird.
After establishing a good relationship, so it's just it was. But he did do a very stupid thing, so I don't know.
Yeah, well, it's true, but at the same time, it's like he's a journalist, so
yeah, you could talk
they're
to him
prone
about
to do these sorts of things.
Yeah.
And also, like another problem I had is like in the story he breaks down like completely, like and just like shuts off as a person living in a dump of a apartment or whatever.
Yeah.
Journalism doesn't work like that. You can set up your own sort of like vlog casting, and apparently he had quite a following, so if he did it elsewhere on a personal level, he wouldn't have to
get on that YouTube. He'd have probably been fine.
Yeah,
Before
6 months later he's in a crap apartment. Come on.
Before the scene when he like rides up in his motorcycle to his like network corporation or whatever, like I just assumed that he was a YouTuber or something, like an online blogger. And then when he pulls up to his network and everything, and they're like, "You're gonna get fired, Eddie, if you keep doing this stuff." And I'm like, "Just do what you do on YouTube, then. Like, what are you what are you here for?"
Yeah, go on Twitch, report your stuff there. Like, it's okay.
Very true.
People will watch your stuff if you have a following.
He had a fan base. Like people, like a random dude in an elevator was like, "I love your stuff." And I'm
exactly.
Like,
yeah, exactly.
Yep.
That's my point. It's like you don't have to like shut down. Like I understand that losing your fiance is like detrimental, but like you can't just stop.
Yeah.
like no network reporter has his reputation. Like I can't name a single network reporter, but I can name social media reporters just fine.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, and it's like he that would have solved a lot of problems that they come into later in the story as well. Like when he gets all this footage of what's going on inside of the labs and stuff later on when he decides to help the scientist lady. She's like, you could just put that on the internet.
Yeah.
Anywhere on the just post it to your blog. Post it like you don't like. He had to like deliver it in his phone to his boss, former boss.
Right. What's an email? I don't know.
Yeah. Email.
Let me call you on my pager.
Dropbox.
Right.
Yeah. Right. It's just very strange. So, yeah. I guess it was. Seems like it might have been written by someone who doesn't get that.
Yeah. Well.
Like a normal.
Gotta fill
was
the time
cool.
somewhere.
It was cool to see Bobby Fish as his boss, though. That was kind of fun.
That was cool. Yes, I enjoyed seeing that.
I did wonder what he did with all those millions, and it turns out he made himself a network. So.
So yeah, we spent a lot of time doing nothing, just spinning our wheels, setting up this tragic Eddie Brock character, and nothing really incredible happens until we get our symbiote into the hands and body of Eddie Brock.
Yeah, which is led up to by like this big corporation is like experimenting with drugs and pharmaceuticals and things like that going to the outer space areas.
Right.
And they find this meteorite with symbiotes on it. And they bring it back to an attempt to further the human species or something or another, as pharmaceutical people do, apparently.
It's whatever the CEO's belief is that, like, if we can fuse these symbiotes with humans will then be allowed to live in space and, do what you would do living in space.
So one thing like that happened in the beginning, Carlton Drake, the main antagonist guy.
Yeah.
They make a big scene about him, like, not letting, like, this little girl had a question in the that they had. So and the kids were like, shh, and I'm like, I don't know any kid that would like try to shush someone from like other things, but he gives her his like little pin that he's wearing on his suit. And then the very next shot, he's got another one on. So
to be fair, he did get changed.
I love that.
They were like, "You need to get changed for your interview," and he's like, "Oh, okay." And then he's wearing a different jacket. So I'm like, he just has a pin on every jacket that he wears. What the heck is that about?
Yeah, it was really weird. Like, to make such a big scene out of that, and then just have it on in the very next scene.
He didn't even answer the girl's question.
Yeah, I know. I thought that was really funny.
This girl will answer your question. Okay, bye.
I'm glad they did. I'm glad he did like pass her off to someone, because it would have been really bad had she just been like standing there, like without her question answered.
Yes, indeed.
And it's weird because like he also got this idea that like their corporation's all about like bringing life and building life, but he has this whole idea that like our life in general is just not good enough, and that we just have to evolve and become the next best thing. And it's just what.
Well, and I don't think, in the sense of like big corporation people, I don't think he was that bad. I think he was actually an alright sort of like figure, because he did seem compassionate at times about what he's doing, as opposed to being like, I want money, bro.
It felt like the switch he had flipped very quickly though, from helping people to let's go to human trials.
Yeah, I see what Eddie means though. Is like his end goal wasn't money. His end goal was actually whatever his ideal was, is progressing the human race into space.
Yeah.
Which is cool. More power to you. But stop murdering people.
Except
Please.
you're a murderer.
Yes.
What? So that's another thing. As we go through the movie, like eventually, Eddie Brock, it sneaks into this pharmaceutical company with the help of one of the scientists in there.
Yeah.
After the whole human trial thing began with the symbiotes, obviously people are dying because the symbiotes can't bind with the people as they want to, and it eventually like kills them. It eats them from the inside, and then so this scientist lady is like, "You're Eddie Brock, right?" And
you're the savior.
He's like, yeah, whatever, man. I don't report things anymore. It's like, okay, well, my family's in trouble. Can you help me? I can't say anything or they're gonna kill my family. It's like, okay, well, there's something that you need to do here. But and then Eddie Brock, accepts randomly about the whole thing.
I didn't get why she needed him. Like, if he gets caught, then aren't they going to kill his family too? Like,
I guess it was because that whole like interview thing that he did earlier.
Yeah,
it's like that probably like got out. But I don't know how she would have seen that unless it was live. I don't think it was live though.
That's true. I don't know how she would have known that. That's very accurate.
And I guess that just attributes to his popularity, that his fan base that he had.
I think it was live though.
I don't know. Maybe, might have been. But either way, it's like he goes with her. She sneaks him in, and he sees one of the homeless people that he was talking to earlier, or that he had a relationship with, not in the sense of like sexiness, but like he passed her by on occasion.
Not a sexy relationship, a standard relationship.
A standard relationship, a friendship relationship. He would give her like money for free paper, a free newspaper that she pulled out of the vending machine thing.
Right.
And so he sees her in the science lab about to be tested on, or has been tested on. He breaks her out, but she attacks him because the symbiote's inside of her, and it transfers to him.
Yeah.
And at that point, that's when things kick up to like 400.
Yep. Then he runs through a fence and climbs a tree.
Yeah. At superhuman speeds, it's like, oh my god, what's happening? Oh no. How am I doing this sort of thing? But,
yeah, sort of fight or flight kicks in and he just meta-humans out of there. And yeah, it's interesting. It's an interesting... I like watching the sequences where Venom's actually getting stuff done. Those are pretty fun and cool. In case we skipped over this, there were multiple symbiotes brought down.
Yeah.
There were 4 total.
4.
One escaped when the ship went down, took over somebody, and then started walking to San Francisco from the Philippines? I don't remember exactly where.
Yeah. It was just very strange as well, because you'd think that as an alien life form, you would want to blend in. Yeah. And that appears to be what Riot was doing, which is the name of the symbiote. But he just kept walking around like a zombie, and I figure that he would have learned by that time that humans don't walk like that.
Yeah.
Especially since
I think he kind of did eventually. Like the old lady didn't walk too crazy, and then the kid didn't walk too crazy.
He still did that like head tilt thing, and he was like looking around like the entire time. Like I made note of that. I was like, why is he still doing that?
The kid was creepy AF.
Yeah.
That kid.
She just like turned the corner in the lab with Homeboy, and I was like, oh.
You're all going to die down here.
I've got a Resident Evil vibe too.
Alarms would go off in my head. No.
And that kid was dead too. Like,
yeah.
That's interesting. I thought that's the first thing I thought of. Like whenever Riot looked at the little girl going in, I was like, uh-oh. Are we going to have child murder?
Yeah.
But they didn't show it on screen, of course, because you can't really do that.
Yeah.
In a PG-13 movie.
Actually, there was a lot less blood in this movie. I don't think there's any blood, actually.
Yeah, because it's PG-13.
PG-13. Can't be throwing them splatters around.
Or removals of heads or bodies.
Oh, I wish you did.
Yeah, right.
I wish it could have had a rating just for that, but it probably wouldn't have done as well.
Yeah,
no, maybe. Probably not.
I don't know. I don't know about that. Because, I mean, Deadpool was R-rated, but I guess...
But is this Deadpool? Like, is this as good as Deadpool?
No, the humor wasn't there.
It's nothing. This is not a Deadpool.
I feel like they could have done more, though, had they gotten that R rating.
I feel like making this more gritty probably wouldn't have helped it that much, in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't know. It could have just ended up being like Spawn.
Maybe not.
Anyways.
Who knows? So we the next day, Eddie Brock wakes up and is like super hungry.
Yes.
Or at least.
Well, no, he goes home that night and he's super. Like he starts eating like tater tots and all this, not like frozen foods.
And then garbage.
That was kind of a disgusting scene for me, especially since like I had just recently got sick, and so I started having this like I had never had badness that before, but like that's brought up a lot of bad memories for me.
Yeah. And I had actually admired that because it did look like his feasting scenes, like with the eating it looked really intense. Like it looks like he was digging into that. So I have to give Tom Hardy props for that because it actually did kind of gross me out too. Like when he bit into that like garbage chicken.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my god! And that lobster that he got in the restaurant.
He didn't even hesitate. He just like bit right through the shell and just went right into it.
Yeah. Like I didn't like Tom Hardy too much in this movie because he fidgets all the time, and I have like problems with actors doing certain things.
Yeah,
and I look at what they do. Don't laugh at me. I notice these things.
You mean
people
he fidgets
watch
all the time in like his other stuff, or just in this film?
Just I don't know very many of other things that he's been in, but like
I don't think he was a very fidgety Bane, was he?
I don't know. Anyway,
no.
it just annoyed me. Like every scene he was twitching like somewhere. I was like, maybe that's his character, maybe I don't know, but it was really weird.
I think that was him after he got Venom, right? Like because he wasn't like that before.
Before that, no, I don't think he was. I feel like he was like paranoid because of his reporting. Like after his life kind of fell apart or whatever, he got more paranoid. But like he wasn't starting twitching until Venom came around. And you're right. I feel like that was just very off-putting. But I think that was also what they were aiming for as well.
Maybe, but I don't know if I want to give them credit for that much credit for that.
No, it was very unsettling for sure.
I was fine with it.
didn't like that. I liked the Venom look. I liked that he was like super big and muscular and everything like that. It was interesting to see the non-Spider-Man logo in his chest for obvious reasons.
Venom is totally like a sexually like attractive thing to a lot of people I know.
Yeah.
So, and I think that's attributed to like this sexy monster movement that's been going on like ever since like Guillermo del Toro did The Shape of the Water.
Yep.
I think that's been a bit more open, and I think that's what they did with this, especially with the makeout scene.
Oh yeah.
Like I think people are like dipping their feet into the weird relationships with monsters.
we got male and female Venom all in the same movie, so.
Yeah, brief female Venom was interesting. No. I also enjoyed Venom's design. I liked seeing Venom fully formed at any point. Whenever Venom would fully take over and be full suit, looked really cool to me.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, if it just stayed that way, it would have been great. I didn't so much enjoy like all the tendriliness whenever it's just Tom and you just see black tendrils. It's less believable, but I don't know. Maybe they'll get more budget for the next one and it'll look better.
Believable.
I actually liked I actually liked part of that because it kind of added to the fact that he doesn't understand what's going on. He didn't have control of it, and he was acting really well. Like I can't imagine him being the actor having all the green screen stuff happening, where he's having to fight but not really trying to fight. That I feel it would be very difficult, but I feel like he pulled it off very well. Especially that fight scene in the apartment when he's just like throwing people around and stuff and throwing tendrils. Like, that's crazy to me.
I don't know. I just prefer a fully formed Venom.
Yeah, but you have a thing with like superheroes in suits too. So.
Yeah,
that is true. Do you think that you'd like to see more of him as just Venom in a sequel? Like if he was just always in the Venom suit? Like generally speaking, comic Eddie Brock doesn't have like a time where he's like doing his powers while he's Eddie Brock. Usually the time he's either Eddie Brock or he's all Venom. And I was asking, do you prefer that if they did another one that it would just be that way, either Eddie Brock or all Venom all the way?
Absolutely. Like I think when they do another one, like I said, they'll probably get a higher budget, and I think it'll be, in terms of screen time, comparable to when we went from like with the recent Ninja Turtle movies, like the first one versus the second one, with how much more of the Turtles we saw in the second one. Mm-hmm. Just because they were able to show them more often, I think, with the budget that they had. So I think that's what we'll get. We'll get to see more Venom. And yeah, I'm A-okay with that because I think it looks good. I think they did a good job with that. And I want to see more of that. I want to see more Venom. I want to see him fighting people that are not other Venoms. This movie really could have benefited from a different villain. Like we were saying earlier, there were 4 different symbiotes. 3 of them made it to the lab. One of those 3 was Venom. The other 2 died in the lab before we could see them be anything interesting at all. And then Venom fights Riot for a brief moment of time, and Riot is just a much more powerful Venom. But they still lose, and
it did look like that they were taking pieces and parts of the symbiotes and giving them to people because there were several different people that were infected at a given time. And so I don't think that the other 2 symbiotes were completely killed, which is why we still kind of see that hint at the end of the movie towards Carnage, which is another symbiote.
Well, they were on the ground, like in front of the people. Like,
there was one of them that did
there was
do
2.
that.
There were 2 of them.
Yeah.
2 of them were shown dead. That's another thing. In that freaking lab, I don't buy a lot of that. Like, just must have been some really nice plexiglass that kept them at bay. Also, when you let them out of the tube, how you get them back in?
Yeah, where would that come from? Do they got people with electric prods or something, or people with
No, that would not have worked.
No, of course not. But like, what do you do?
How do you entice it back? Because I mean, I imagine. My thought is that it's dying in the oxygen, so it would want to go back into a place where it knows it was safe.
Yes.
So maybe it would voluntarily go back in the tube. Maybe.
Yeah,
but
maybe.
I also feel like it probably would have had enough strength to break through some of that glass. But maybe not. Maybe
Also, if the rooms aren't airtight, then wouldn't they just go through the vents like Venom would?
Yarp.
I feel like they would be escaped by now. They would have been gone.
Maybe so. Yeah, just a lot of questions. Don't know. Like the storyline they give us, and I wish I knew how active this was, or how accurate this was to the comics. I mean, obviously it's not going to be super accurate because there's no Spider-Man here.
Yeah.
Venom is a traditionally Spider-Man villain. I know often Venom is a symbiote. That's either an experiment or an alien. But I don't know how accurate the whole. Oh, they can't breathe oxygen, so they need to take over something so they can breathe oxygen and be okay. Like, I don't know how accurate that is. It doesn't feel super accurate.
It's not accurate in the sense that they can't breathe oxygen. So the symbiotes were created to kill Celestials, or to take over Celestials. To be honest, so like Nowhere, that big skull in Guardians of the Galaxy, they were built to take over those.
Interesting.
And so, like, for them to be able to come to Earth and everything, I don't imagine that they would die by coming to Earth. That just doesn't seem believable either.
Oxygen is pretty poisonous, like, comparatively to all the other gases.
True, but to Celestials, though, especially, like, it's Quinn's father, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, you know, I don't know. Like, that's the toss-up there. And that's also...
Whose father?
Quinn's in... Peter Quill, sorry, Quill. Quill's father.
I was like, Quinn is the League of Legends ship.
Yeah. They were created to take over League of Legends. Be the best players ever.
Indeed.
My point is that like the symbiotes can change drastically, and that's what Celestials can do as well. They're not always huge and they're not always small, and they can change their form. And so the symbiote itself had to be able to have that feature in order to take over the Celestials, so they should be able to adapt to all environments.
Yeah, no, I feel you. I feel like it was very weird. That was a very strange stipulation and limitation that they put on, because I remember just Venom just being the sort of thing that would jump onto whatever it felt like and just sort of take it over. I know there's probably at least 3 main people that spend time as Venom. I don't remember all of them. I know Flash is one and Eddie Brock is another. I think there's a female that's another one, but I'm not entirely certain about that.
Well, yes. There's quite a few. They only showed Riot and Venom in this one, and they referenced Carnage, but there's multitudes of symbiotes.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm talking about the hosts. Like, I don't remember there being a whole lot of restrictions on their hosts.
And that's interesting, is that like in the beginning they told us that like, oh, the hosts can only be they had to be perfectly adaptable to the symbiote, or they had to be completely compatible or whatever. But it seemed like Venom was just kind of jumping around to human to dog to girl back to Eddie Brock, like.
Yeah. Well, I think the compatibility was they were stressing that the compatibility is what would allow them to live longer.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah. So
and the only reason like a few of those people died is because the symbiote like ate their insides.
Yeah.
Like their organs and stuff.
And I guess Venom did threaten that to Eddie as well if he didn't get enough tots and chocolate. So.
But yeah.
I'd imagine there would be like some danger though for like symbiotes and stuff, like in the comics, because I don't think Venom would have stayed with Eddie for so long if there wasn't some sort of danger.
Well, I think they provide a structure. Like I don't think the symbiotes have much. They don't have any bones. They don't have any like structural integrity, I guess. Like they are just mush. So I think that sort of helps them. Having a host helps them exist physically.
Maybe.
You're right.
Structurally.
Because when they're like in their kind of goopy form or whatever, they can't just like take on some sort of a consciousness. They have to have some sort of thing moving them, some sort of, not, I wouldn't say soul, but like some sort of specific consciousness. They have their own, but it's hard for them to have they have to have a medium to communicate through.
Yeah, they need a physical structure to mimic.
Yeah.
Any oozles. But overall, I liked just Venom and Tom. Like, that was fun. I hope to see them again somewhere else. In another movie I think would be fine. But the love interest was meh. The villain was buh. And
it was really hard.
Was buh.
It was really hard to like feel for Anne and Brock's relationship because one, obviously Brock was being a real jerk to her, and two, she didn't have any kind of emotions at all. She was basically like Kristen Bell from Twilight. Like, she just didn't have any change. She either had love or
you mean
I hate
Bella.
Yeah, whatever.
Bella Swan.
Whatever.
Oh my god.
Right.
Thank you for clarifying,
Scott.
Thank you for watching Twilight and telling me all about it.
Well, reading Twilight.
Oh,
that's
even worse.
Well, you back yourself up. It's a great series of books.
My point was, it's hard for me to care about their relationship if they didn't seem to really care about the relationship. Also, she moved on very quickly from fiance to I'm in a relationship with somebody else and moved in with them.
Well, I mean, 6 months is quite a bit of time.
I guess, but it did seem like a drastic change for me.
Maybe she was desperate.
Or maybe she was ready to go already.
She wanted them doctor monies.
That's right.
Yeah, that's very true.
Poor Dr. Dan.
Dr. Dan.
He didn't get any closing aside from having his girlfriend cheat on him.
And what a stand-up guy too, like having to stand through with all this trouble.
He's a good guy.
He authentically seemed worried for Eddie, so
yeah, like any doctor would.
Good human being.
Yeah.
He'll get a good lady. No worries, guys. I had faith in it. He's got a lot of money and he's nice. He'll be all right.
And and if the kiss made that made the kiss feel weirder.
Yeah.
Aside from the Venom part, but which I didn't mind, but whatever. But it's like you have a boyfriend, my dear. What are you doing? That's you guys are not in a relationship anymore.
How in the driver's seat do you think she was at that point?
Pretty driving.
She got out of it. She was like, "I bit someone's head off." And she seemed like genuinely surprised and concerned about.
So
that.
She was concerned about that, but what I'm saying is that the transfer happened and they were still kissing afterwards. So I don't know how much. I feel like
if it feels good, you're just gonna keep going. But
Is that how it works now?
It seems as though she was surprised at the end of it too. I don't know. Anyways.
No, but in the comics, it's like Eddie and Venom are like lovers anyway. So
fun stuff.
Eddie and Venom?
They're gay.
Oh.
Regardless, they don't end up together. No, I'm saying Anne and Eddie don't end up together at the end of this movie anyway. So
yeah,
it's what it is.
Yeah.
She could still make it work with the Doctor. That's good.
Yeah, it would have been better had he been in male form with Venom. I'm just saying.
Would it have?
But whatever. Yes, it would have been.
Or would it have been better for you?
It would have been great. Okay.
I wouldn't have turned it down for sure.
Cowards. They're cowards. I tell you.
That's what I expected. Having heard that they had a makeout moment, I was like,
I was hoping that too,
guess?
but it's like, oh.
That or the puppet head. I would imagine the puppet
yeah.
I would have been like, that would be strange, but cool. All right, whatever.
Sony, you cowards.
Yeah.
Bring on the homosexuality between alien and human.
Does Venom have a sex?
Have what?
Does Venom itself have a sex?
They have in the comics. They canonically have a baby. Yes.
Yes, but.
Wait, back up. Who canonically has a baby?
Eddie and Venom
have a child. That is a symbiote?
Yes.
Sort
of.
Okay.
Technically, but Venom doesn't really have a. He's asexual. It doesn't really matter how he produces. He's a symbiote. He can just throw off a piece of him and make another symbiote.
Well, it's a bit more complicated than that. But
told Eddie that it was their child. He just made a copy. And
no, they were in the story that I read I read about. They actually go through parenting things and raising, wanting to raise a child together and things like that. So
interesting.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
It's kind of like Vision when he was trying to do his parenting thing as well. So it's weird to see. It's like that, alien comes to Earth.
Back up. Who was Vision parenting?
Vision was parenting his child.
Who is his like that? This you say this like I know this. What are you talking about?
So Vision and Scarlet Witch get married. And they don't have a real child. So this is kind of like he has like this like stuck in this dream world or whatever where he and Scarlet Witch had like 3 children and everything, and they have this like they have Vision babies and stuff. It's very very weird.
All right.
Vision babies.
It's because they all look like him. They're like it's like a girl and a boy, but they have his skin and his.
Sweet. They're all just carbon copies of him. Like same face. Different heights and genders.
They're like facing through the front door of their house and everything. It's just weird.
That's good. They're just Oompa Loompas.
Yeah.
All the same.
Oh, jeez.
That's good. I like it. What else about this movie? Yeah, just do you think they're gonna fold this into the Marvel universe?
I think that they're at least gonna bring it into Spider-Man.
I don't know.
I think if they were to do it, they would test it that way. Like they might put a smidge of him into, have him meet Spider-Man, have Spider-Man be on another field trip or whatever, and he's in San Francisco. And
I mean, if Sony's gonna plan to do a Mobius Immortal Vampire and a Kraven movie, then they better put Spider-Man into one of these things.
Maybe, yeah, I would agree.
It feels like making a Lex Luthor movie without Superman. You know what I mean? Although I kind of feel like I'd like to watch a Lex Luthor movie without Superman.
I wouldn't mind them putting Venom into the Marvel Extended Universe. Like, I think it would be fine.
Yeah, it probably would be.
I feel like it would fit right in.
Agreed. Then we can have him fight the Hulk. Yes.
Can you imagine that conversation?
Which conversation? I just want to see the fight. Oh. Venom is one of the people who has beaten the Hulk, and I just want to see it. Like, gosh, that'd be cool. Yeah, I would love to see Venom jumping around in the Marvel universe, and because I feel like it would be fine. It's just he's a weird biotically enhanced person with another consciousness living inside of him. He's really strong and goopy.
Goopy.
Yeah, I mean, it's not too far off of anything else we have. We've got a god, a couple of gods actually, and the friggin' Hulk, and a bunch of metal men, and Spider-Man. It's fine. It can be all right.
Yeah, I mean, it would be fine.
Yeah.
But it's just one is owned by Sony.
Right.
And I think Sony's trying to gather up as many properties as they can. So.
Well, I think they're just trying to hold on to as many properties as they can.
On to them.
I think the gathering is done.
Yeah.
I don't think they can gather anything further.
And I don't see Disney being like, we want that.
Right. Yeah.
Right now.
I would agree.
The mouse wants it immediately.
The mouse must have it. The mouse demands your patronage. I am very, very excited about Into the Spider-Verse, though.
Oh, heck yeah.
So, gosh, I hope that does well.
What I'm excited about that movie is Mr. Nicolas Cage is going to be voicing Noir Spider-Man.
Yes, that's true. Yes.
Fantastic.
And John
I was
Mulvaney.
so happy to see all the different Spider people that they had already. Did y'all stay? I assume you stayed for the final thing after the credits.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I watched that scene.
Yes, I love that. Oh, I loved seeing that. So obviously we've got our boy Spider-Man being chased by Kraven, I assume.
Yep.
And that looks really cool. I'm real excited about that. It's obvious to me that they're not going to follow the actual Spider-Verse storyline, the comic event.
Oh, I don't know the Spider-Verse comic very well.
Well, it is. It's real out there, and it would require the audience to assume...
A full knowledge of Spider-Man.
No, it would just require them to be okay with... Okay, we're already asking the audience to be okay with multiple universes of Spider-Man, which I feel is enough to ask them.
Oh, yeah.
But on top of that, in the Spider-Verse storyline, you would have to ask your audience to be okay with the fact that there are these higher beings that live in between the universes and are aware of all the existing universes and feed off of spider energy and are looking for all of these spider people who have been touched by magic spider energy to consume them, to actually eat them and gain power off of their spider force.
Magic spider energy.
Yeah, so it would then require all of us to assume that everyone who is a spider person, a Spider-Man, has those powers because of a mystical entanglement of fate, not the like scientific experiment reason that we have seen in like 4 movies at this point. So it would be a real leap, and I applaud them for not doing that, because that would just be a lot. That would be very difficult, I think, to explain to everyone and to have everyone be on board with. Plus, the ending is very strange. It gets very timey-wimey.
Yeah.
And loopy. The guy that saves them and solves the problems is the guy that saves them and solves the problems from the future or the past, depending on your perspective. Yep. It's ridiculous. It's very strange. But you can buy the whole Spider-Verse in a big graphic novel pack. David bought 2 and gave 1 to me. So yeah, it's nice. It's real nice. But yeah, they definitely cannot do that for the movie, and I'm happy that they're not.
Yeah.
But I'm glad to see Peter Porker, the Spider-Ham, and Spider-Man Noir was in the latest trailer as well. So I'm pumped about that. And Spider-Gwen. I'm excited to see what else. I hope there's a Silk and a Spider-Woman. I hope there's all kinds of crazy good things in this, but we'll see. I'm secretly hoping they throw in...
Since it is...
Yeah?
Since it was after the credits for Venom, do you think Venom might show up in that?
I think he may. So in the Spider-Verse, there's definitely a symbiote Spider-Man, because there's a Spider-Man that just keeps having the symbiote suit in one of the continuities, so maybe that person will show up. Maybe we'll get some kind of weird connection to the Eddie Brock universe that will allow the Venom that we have to take on more Spider-Man-like identities. That would be interesting. I really hope that we also get cameos from the Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield Spider-Man, because they totally could do that.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, they're totally good.
I hope that happens, because there's a reference to them in the Spider-Verse comic as well, and I just that would be great. That would be super, super fun. Anyways, where are we? I guess watch Venom if you want.
Yeah, it's definitely, if you like Venom as the character in the comic books, I think you would like the movie, because I think they did Venom well.
Oh yeah,
like as a whole.
If you are at all interested in seeing this movie, but we're maybe waiting for some reviews like ours, just go see it. It'll be fine.
I mean, you can probably wait for it to get on Netflix too.
For sure. Maybe so. Mm-hmm.
But you don't have to rush out to see it.
Yeah.
And it's one of those ones that I would give that disclaimer that it is going to be a little slow in the beginning, but if you're willing to wait for it, it makes it up for it at the end.
But yeah, definitely check it out. It's worth a watch. Mm-hmm. Either way, even though it's a bad movie, it's still fun.
Even though it's bad.
Yeah, it's a bad movie that I'm fine with watching.
Yeah,
and I'll watch it. Probably be fine with watching again. I don't think I'll see it again in theaters, but.
And it doesn't take itself too seriously, so you don't have to sit there and be invested in it, I don't think.
Yeah, I'd say that's true. Boobity boop. Why don't we move on to what we've been nerding out to? Okay. Scott, what have you been nerding out to?
Well, I've been severely taken aback at all the Fallout 76 news that's been coming out and all the beta videos and stuff that we've been able to see from these YouTubers and everything. So I've been kind of wholeheartedly jumping into that. Other than that, the CW shows picked up again. So the season premiere of Black Lightning season 2 and Flash's this season came up. So we get to see Flash and Flash's kid coming from the future to see them. XS come out and show off her speedster's abilities, and Black Lightning is kind of dealing with the repercussions of last season, and also his daughters having superpowers and everything like that, which is really cool to deal with that dynamic. I'm really excited to see what Supergirl has to bring, and also Arrow in the next week. But yeah, and there's also confirmed what the crossover event's going to look like. They're going to Gotham City to meet Batwoman. So
what?
Yeah.
Wait, Batwoman or Batgirl?
Batwoman. So
okay. Is he like an anti-hero?
She's a ex-military fan of Bruce Wayne. She was like working for Wayne Security, and then kind of became like she felt like Batman was like one of her idols and everything, and so she started doing her own thing, kind of like Batgirl.
Yeah, she's kind of crazy though, right?
She is I wouldn't say crazy, but she's more outgoing. She's the redhead basically, and she's a bit more outspoken.
Interesting. Is that about all for you, Scott?
I think so. Yeah, I'm gonna be. I really have to start finishing up on my my Cloak and Dagger watch through, but I finished the Runaways, and that was pretty good. Their new season's starting in December, so I'm excited for that.
What have you been nerding out to?
Well, at the moment, like a whole bunch of anime just started up. There is JoJo Part 5 that came out.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I heard a grunt, and I'm going to
Scott,
pretend to
I know better
ignore
than
it.
to diss JoJo.
So
look, okay, I'm not into men posing like Ginyu
well,
Force.
you know, we all can't be, as confident in our masculinity.
Well, no,
as me.
I'm perfect. I know that the fan base is great, and I think that what they've provided is awesome. I've never even watched an episode, so I just like making fun of it from afar.
Okay,
I'm sure that if I watch it, I'll fall right head over heels into it. But I like making fun of it until I haven't.
Anyway.
Sorry, go ahead.
JoJo's amazing. And if you haven't watched it, you should, because it's really good. But Part 5 just started, and it just picks up from a few years after the previous season.
Okay, I'll start with Part 5.
Which was done like 3 years ago. No, you don't. Let's start from the beginning, because it's all like sequels to each other. It's stuff like that. Also, Sword Art Online Alicization just started.
Oh, that did start. Wow.
Yeah.
I'm excited about that.
Yeah, well, Scott loves Sword Art Online, so.
Well, I'm a fan of the Alicization Online series because it ties into the Cell World arc.
Interesting.
Fun junk.
But yeah, it just started. There's also what else just started? Something else just started. I can't remember. Don't remember. Anyway, I watched a few more episodes of Voltron.
Heck yeah!
So
Where you at? You still in season 1?
Yeah, of course I am. I'm not like rushing to finish this, Ethan.
I just didn't know. Calm
As
yourself.
you did not.
What's happened? What has happened thus far, Eddie?
Well, they made Voltron.
Yeah, they. I think the big guys just took over the castle, and like they had to sneak back in to reclaim it and stuff. I think that was like episode 4 or something.
Gotcha.
Other than that, the Aladdin trailer just dropped.
I know. I watched it just before this pod.
Oh,
really?
Yeah, bro.
Does it look good?
It opened and I was like, please don't let this be an effects reel of sand. Show me something.
And that's what it was.
That's what half of it was. They do show you some things.
They don't show the genie yet, though. But a lot of
no,
people
I don't think
like
they're going to until like a
it.
full trailer.
Yeah. And other than that, I mean, it's basically like still playing Fortnite and stuff because I need to get my werewolf skin. And also, I forgot to mention that My Hero Academia ended like 2 weeks ago.
Yep.
So. It ended 2 weeks ago?
Yeah.
Yep.
Just last week, I thought there was like a couple episodes left. What the fuck? Okay, fine.
No.
Well,
all right. Well, I'm gonna.
To be fair, that was 2 weeks ago, and.
So I thought that was last week. Anyway, okay. Well, then I'll speed up in my what I'm doing for my nerding out. I have been reading volume 13 of My Hero Academia in the manga, and I think this and the next volume I think should get me through with the anime covered. Right now they're just they're in like the second round of the licensing thing where they're trying to save people.
Yeah.
So, and it's fine. It's fun. I'm not too far into it, but I will hopefully finish it. I also started watching The Good Place.
Oh, so hilarious, isn't it?
Due to Scott's
Oh, isn't that the
recommendation.
one where like the girl goes to heaven when she shouldn't have?
Yeah.
Right, correct. That is accurate.
Yeah,
It's.
yeah.
I don't think it's as funny as I expected or wanted it to be, but it's all right. And it's an interesting premise.
Its jokes are a little bit weird in the beginning, but they start to gradually get better and better.
Everyone seems to be a caricature, like an extreme version of whatever this person would be. So
They start to get more well-rounded, and that's where like the drama starts coming.
Interesting. Yeah, hopefully so. I don't know. I'm like 5 episodes into it now, so
Yeah.
it's been good. Some twists have already twisted. I think that's about it for all of my nerding. I don't think I've been doing too much else. Well, I have been doing a lot of other things, but they aren't nerding. So, been rewatching The Defenders. That's something I have been doing.
Rewatching the
Really?
Defenders.
Yeah, I got a friend of mine into Daredevil, and then I was just like, just watch The Defenders. I'll feel like we watched the first episode and I just filled her in. I was like, this is Jessica Jones, this is Luke Cage, this is Iron Fist. This is all you need to know. And then we've just been watching The Defenders. And then next week we're gonna watch freaking Daredevil season 3. I'm so excited. I'm so ready.
Wow, yeah. Jeez Louise.
Next Friday,
That's
gentlemen.
next week.
So ready. But yeah, if she wants to watch the other stuff when we're done with The Defenders, she can. But I got to see that scene again where Daredevil kicks the crap out of
Iron
Daredevil.
Fist.
Gosh, it was good.
Yeah, it really is.
I also just got to relive all there were a bunch of really dumb decisions made by like all parties in this show. I was just like, man, y'all should be smarter. But anyways, getting to the end of the day, I think we just have 2 episodes left on that, and so it's been good. Yeah.
You sound very invigorated.
That's what I am this late at night after a full day of work. I don't think there's anything else for me. Anything we're looking forward to? What else is coming out this month or next month?
Castlevania.
Castlevania, that's right. Is that this Friday? Tomorrow?
I don't think it's tomorrow. I think it's like the 19th as well.
Okay.
Around season
that's
3.
freaking cool.
Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee come out next month, so Kaylee and I are excited about that.
November, let's go.
And then
Smash Bros. In December. Oh, Eddie, have you played have you played Mario Party yet?
Oh,
No,
heck
I've watched
yeah.
people play it though.
Kaylee and I
Okay.
got it just recently.
How do you like it?
Oh, we love it. We've been playing the crap out of it.
Okay. Just the 2 of you?
Yeah, well, there's only 2 of us. There's
So
no,
you don't have friends,
not in
Scott?
not in Natchitoches.
Gosh.
We're literally in like BFE out here.
Yeah.
We'll be playing some whenever we go to PAX, Ethan.
I'm sure.
Oh,
The
you
only
better
thing
get
I've
your
seen,
game.
by then.
Get your game on.
I watched a review of it, and they were disappointed in I think the online.
Yeah, I mean, you
This-
can only play.
Yeah.
You can only play mini
mini
games
games?
online with
Yeah.
other people.
And only 10 of
There's
the
only 4 maps.
Yeah, there's only 4 maps. Those are the gripes I've heard. But from everything else, it seems to be a return to form.
Oh yeah.
Better than the previous 2 versions that had the little shopping cart kind of
The
mechanic.
car.
And I wouldn't put it past them to like send in more content.
Oh
Yeah, they're gonna
abso-
do DLC
Freaking
stuff.
absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
because
They're
it's
gonna they might do patches to fix a couple of gripes, and then I'm
sure.
certain they'll do DLCs as well.
but the mini games are very well done.
That's what I hear. I hear the minigames are good, but they're gonna make their money. Don't you worry.
Oh yeah. And then Smash the following month.
Yep.
Yes.
The last few months of this year is going to be amazing for the video game world for sure.
It's that Christmas time, though.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's right. Maybe I should reserve a copy of Smash. That's probably a smart idea.
Yeah, I did that in June.
Maybe I can't anymore. Maybe I'm not smart enough. Maybe I've been
It'd still
too
be
dumb.
available, like on Amazon and stuff.
Oh, nice.
But BlizzCon's next month too, so I'm looking forward to that. You might hear some murmurs of the next Diablo game and more WoW stuff that I'm looking forward to. So.
That's cool. Speaking of stuff to look forward to, I keep wanting Nintendo to tell me more about another Metroid remake for the DS. Like, I want them to remake Fusion, like they hinted that they were going to.
Yeah, well, I mean,
it is a fan favorite.
It's a fan
I'm sure
favorite, and so like there's a scene at the end of Samus Returns on the 3DS where you see what's those things called?
I don't know the specific term for it.
Well, you see the goopy amoeba.
Yeah,
that is
the X virus or whatever it's called.
Yes, take over a creature and turn it into a fusion goopy virus creature from Metroid Fusion, which was the first Metroid game I ever played and beat. And
the X Parasite. That's what.
X Parasite. There you go.
Yeah.
And I would be so down for playing another Metroid game in the vein of Samus Returns because it was done so well.
Yeah, definitely.
Gosh.
I think, however, they're going to be focusing a bit more on Metroid Prime 4.
Likely,
If there's a different team.
Which I'm excited for.
But there probably are different teams, I imagine.
Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
Probably. I would say probably, but
I'm way down for Metroid 4, especially for the Switch.
Yeah. It will be my first time playing one first person, like we've mentioned before, so that'll be interesting. We'll see if it gets me. Anyways, I think that's about it then for us this week. Thank you everybody for listening. We very much appreciate it. And thank you for liking, commenting, subscribing, doing whatever you can to help get the pod out there. We appreciate all of that. Be sure to get in contact with us. Let us know how you felt about Venom. You can get to us on Twitter at TMYKPod. You can find us on Facebook, find us on YouTube. You can get the pod on iTunes, Podbean, Google Play or Google Podcasts, Castbox, Stitcher, all those different places.
that's a lot of places.
It's a lot of places, and I think that's about it for us. But we appreciate you. My name is Ethan.
I'm Eddie.
I'm Scott.
And we are those nerds, you know.
Bye.